Hello guys, welcome back to another video here on my channel. In today's video we're gonna take a look at Fireball Rocketloon once again, and with this army compilation. This will also be the first thing where we will take a look at the army, like what I've put into it, and after that we're gonna take a look at obviously Fireball Rocketloons, and in particular we're gonna take a look at against the HOCK Tower, what my approaches are. I have attacked a few now since the new season started, but I hope I will run into some more when the season continues, and I hope I can show you a little bit what you can or want to do against it. But I would say without further ado, let's jump right into the video. And if you are new to the channel, I would really appreciate if you like and subscribe. And now, have fun. Alright, so the first thing, I've took the army from Itsu, but I have changed a little bit in the army. I think he has two of the new spells right here. In my opinion, the new spell is not really that good in the dur out the attack. It's only good if you want to throw the fireball, and else I would say an invisibility is way better, because well, the damage will stop also, but the warden will continue to attack. So yeah, and also I think he also is playing with a skeleton spell, or maybe not. But yeah, in my opinion, 5 invisibility is just the best with 2 rages. You just need 2 rages because of the time. And also I think Itsu is playing with 4 furnaces. I've only taken 3 because well, I think he didn't have any cleanup, and it was just way too less, and I had just to remove something out to get a little bit more cleanup, and that is what I've done. But I think that was the only changes I did, and I think I also added 1 headhunter more. But yeah, I've playing with this army like I think for 2-3 weeks, and it's working pretty good. With the equipments, I think the equipments are probably the same as his. Or maybe one big change is I switched back to the Royal Champion again, because the Minion Prince was not that good. I can explain later why I switched back to Royal Champion. And also you can play with the Electro Boots. I just play with the shield because I like it a little bit more. And the rest I would say is kinda normal, with the Spiky Ball, the Earthquake Boots, the Giant, and the Mirror, with the Fireball and Rage obviously. Also in the CC I have Super Minions working pretty good. You could also take Furnaces, but you need to maybe be prepared to have more time issues if you have the Furnaces in the CC. So that's why I would recommend you using the Super Minions. Also, I just recommend you the Sneezy on the Warden, with the Jelly on the Warden. It's very hard against the HOCK Towers, so just take the Jelly. The Jelly is also good, and we will see later why. But I would say that's with the army composition. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below this video. I try to respond as quick as possible. But I would say let's jump right into some attacks. Alright, here on the first base, and as we all can see, this is a double rage box base with, you can see, with the hook. And I think the style is very popular with the hook in the middle and 2 rage compartments around it. And I know some of them can be pretty tough, since you have to either go with the warden straight through a rage tower, or you fireball the rage tower and kinda yeah, have the problem with the HOCK Tower. But what I do is I always try to go like for both, and what I mean by that is also I try to obviously get the HOCK Tower out with the fireball, but also as many things from the rage tower. As you can see in this base, it's this builder hut or this scatter shot right here. We either want to, with the fireball, let me change the color. We either want to go with the fireball here on the builder hut or on the scatter shot. And also this is, I would say, pretty an easy fireball. means that we don't really need to invest that many invis spells to make the buildings around it invisible. So I would say this is a pretty good fireball. But I know there are some bases which that is not that good possible. We're gonna take a look at a different one after that. But that's just also always what I try to do. Is obviously I try to get the hook tower, but like the best value with it. So you don't need to throw the fireball directly onto the hook tower, but I always throw it around a building around it, like the builder hut, the scatter shot, and maybe if you don't have a rage tower right here, you could also maybe throw it here onto this new cannon right here, or on the monolith obviously. And as you can see on those buildings, you also get the hook tower out. But obviously you need to like play a little bit around it, since the hook tower has a huge range. But that's always what I try to do. And also I think in my last video I said that I don't really know how to play the furnaces, and I can tell you that I've learned some things about the furnaces, and I will also tell you how I play them. And so the first thing is, if you have a fireball far on the outside, you want to wait with the furnaces, since I don't know how it's called, but the mites can pull out Teslas, and that would not be that good. But if you want to throw a fireball deep into the base, like here, you want to use the furnaces just to speed up the warden a little bit. But if you have like the fireball in the first 20 seconds of the attack, I would not recommend you to play them. Just wait with them, and you will see after that they will still get good value. Now also you can see I've played one right here, one here, and one here. If you want the warden to go into the base, you play it like this. But if you want the warden, for example, to go like this, you play them here, like on the left side of the warden, since they will take out those buildings here on the outside, and this makes the warden more likely to go or make the turn to the right. And obviously the exact opposite if you want the warden to go to the left. So yeah, that's just what I do, and those two things are probably the most important things with the furnaces. But also, to be honest, it doesn't really matter that much. But in my opinion, you just can control the direction of the warden just a little bit more. But also a very good thing about the furnaces is obviously they can tank for the warden. As you just saw, the multi-arch tower that was right here kind of split up his arrows to some furnace mites, the warden, and the sneezy. So this just makes that there is less damage on the warden, and they also can deal a lot of damage to enemy heroes. So yeah. But now we will take a look at the fireball. I always would recommend you to play the free spell, the new free spell for the fireball, unless you are 100% sure that the warden is not gonna walk. But for example, here in this replay, if he would have walked like down to the storage, it could also be possible that the fireball would end up here on the sweeper, and that's probably a big issue as well. So just play it. In my opinion, there is not really a much better fireball than, a much better use case for this spell. So that's why I would just also recommend you bringing one. And now, as you can see, we will see the warden goes to the right side, which means we can start with the heroes from the left side. Maybe the placement of my heroes right here was not the best, since the king will walk around. Should have funneled him better inside the base. Now you will see my Warden will walk a little bit on me because of the how's it called? How are they called? The super minion exactly. Since I played the flinger from the top side. To be honest, I didn't really know how necessary the flinger really was, but as you can see, it makes me a lot of trouble, and I think that was also the mistake why I also almost failed this base. Should have just played with the siege barrack to funnel a bit on the outside. So yeah, as you can see, the Warden will take a lot of damage on his healers, and this end up making him die, or letting him die. But luckily with the Royal Champion we could finish the base, and here maybe is a very great example why I want to bring the Royal Champion. Since if you want to play the Minion Prince in here, there are on the way a lot of like areas which are not cleared, and if there are like 2 black mines or something like that, you immediately have to pop his ability. And that's just why I don't like the Minion Prince. The Minion Prince kind of makes that you have to place him from the outside, but the Rocketloons are not that good to take out like bases or like chunks in the base. So that's why, in my opinion, the Royal Champion is better, since you just don't have the black mines for the ground. But yeah, as you can see, in the end, the Royal Champion still makes it. But I would say we jump right into the next base. So here's the next base, and as you can see, you once again have this rage area on the bottom and on the top side, and in the middle you have the hook tower with some damage. And once again, here I would not recommend you to go for the rage tower, since yes, you get a lot of value, you get good value, but after that you have to fear that the Warden is getting pulled in, and it doesn't really matter how good the fireball is. If the Warden dies afterwards, you just have a problem with the time. So you just need the Warden on the side to just clear out like one side, the heroes the other side, and maybe the Royal Champion the last side, or like the last, I don't know what to call it, but the last chunk, you know. So here once again we will go for the hook tower with the fireball, but obviously if you ask yourself how you get the Warden or the fireball towards a building inside of the hook tower, I would not recommend you to start from here, since this means you have to go through the rage tower. So that's why I end up coming from here. You could always obviously come from here as well, what you prefer. And after that, you just take out a few buildings, and then you can just make the buildings invisible, and you get again a good fireball. The next base that we will take a look at is a base where the hook tower is isolated from everything else, and I'm also gonna explain what we'll do on that base. But here from that base, on that base we'll see I also make a big mistake. So the CC came out, and the Warden was kinda on a little bit of damage, so I made him invisible, but I made the mistake that the healers, like, I didn't cover the healer with the invis. And if a Furnace Might jumps into the healers, this means that the healers will die. So that's why I used the freeze spell to protect my healers from the Furnace right here, so that they obviously survive. But this means that the fireball will be way riskier. So what I looked for is a building with a lot of hit points, which is the Clown Castle or the Gold Surge on the top side. And I hoped that the Warden will take out the Expo, the Wizard Tower, and after that the Multi-Arch Tower. But we'll see that unfortunately the Warden will, after he got the Wizard Tower, he will go to clone castle, and this means that I had to play the fireball now. And to be honest, I had to. I was a little bit lucky that the warden was here, and that the fireball will hit the new cannon right here, and we get the hook tower. But obviously, if you have the exact same base, just try to not use the new spell on the healers, because that's just like a stupid mistake that I did. But we were lucky, but we still invested a lot. Like we invested 5 invisibilities, the new spell, 2 earthquakes, and obviously the fireball, which means that for the backhand we don't really have any support. So this means that we have to speed up a little bit with our heroes. So that's why I immediately started with the king and the queen, so that we can try at least to get some damage from the warden. For example, this fire spitter right here, which is pretty annoying for the warden. We're burning our last rage right here because, like I said, we just need the warden alive for at least long as possible. Now he's following the king, which is a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, we'll see. We will use the warden right here. I tried my best with the royal champion from the left side, but we just couldn't because there was too much damage. Luckily there was nothing left in the base behind, so as you can see, with the queen ability we can just finish off the base, the royal champion from the left side and the queen from the right side. So yeah, but I would say let's take a look at the last base. Alright, so this base right here is the last base, and as you can see, you don't really have good value around the hook tower. I mean, you get 2 expos and the hook tower if you land on this expo or in this air defense right here, but still, like, it's not the greatest value especially if you see like the damage which is stacked down on the bottom side right here. So obviously you want the fireball for the bottom side, and on bases like this, what I try to do is just to avoid the hook tower. I know it's hard on some bases if the hook tower, for example, is in the very middle of the base, but on that basis you just have to try. But like the good thing is if you take down everything here on the bottom side, there is like nothing left on the base. So my plan right here was obviously to get a great fireball on the bottom side, and after that just like see where the warden will go and just try to be quicker with either the royal champion or with the king and the queen, to send them straight into the hook tower. If I take a look at the base right now, I would probably start from like the very bottom. Is a little bit hard with the warden because, as you can see, that clone castle, if there are some furnaces inside, it's pretty hard to get them out without hurting the healers. And obviously there is the royal champion, there is the king, which makes it a little bit more complicated. And like on the side right here, it's also pretty hard since there is some damage on the warden. So that's why I decided to start from here. And I also did some mistakes on these attacks. I'm obviously gonna say what I did wrong and what I would do better, but I still managed to triple it, and I feel like it's just a good base to show off how to deal with the hook tower. So we want to start there where obviously you can start, and this is either from here. I would not recommend you to go much further to the outside, since you have the fear that the warden will walk off before he can like get a good fireball here onto the center of the base. So that's why I would start here where the best spot is. Obviously maybe you could even come a little bit more to the center if you want to, but we can speed up. We'll see. I started very far to the right. I even started a little bit more to the right. Like I said, you can also start a little bit more here, but I think it was because of the air defense and the sneezy. I just didn't want that the air defense immediately locked onto my sneezy. And here is the first mistake that I did, and I lured the CC because I thought like, oh, I should rather deal with the CC outside of the center. But to be honest, I just should have not done that, because as you can see there is every hero is here. So if you can't like straight up go into here, you could poison the CC and every hero. I mean, a better poison you can't really get, right? So that was a little bit stupid by myself. And I think I did a mistake by invising that. Because as you can see, one of those mites will jump into my healers again. I mean, a little bit unfortunate, and also my furnaces were not the best, not the greatest right there. But once again, I had to invis them, and obviously I didn't hit the warden. Also, so far it's not looking great, but we got a good fireball. And now the next mistake that I did is, as you can see, as soon as the warden will take out those two buildings right here on the top side, he will go onto the top side. And that's a huge mistake that I did, since if he will go to the top side, there is just like the risk that he will get pulled by the hook tower. And you want that he wants to go to the bottom side. So I should have lured him with some loons and some Rocketloons to just follow the path that I wanted from him, to just get out those buildings here on the bottom side and the top side for my own heroes. So it was a little bit a mess, the attack. But I say, if you get the warden down here, obviously you shouldn't invest that much with what I did into the warden on right here. And invest it down here, and then you will get this section on the bottom side out with without any problems, and then you can send the heroes for the top side. You want to get the king pulled in by the hook tower, you pop his ability. So yeah, as you can see, I just tried to kind of save a little bit with the royal champion, taking out the hook tower. And dealing with the bottom side with the heroes. But as you can see, there is a lot of damage, especially with the invis tower. They can really mess up your pathing. And now also the warden is following the royal champion, which is also not the greatest. The heroes will die out on the bottom side. And now everything I kind of have is the warden, since the royal champion also will die. And some Rocketloons. And yeah, well, as I said before, if the thing on the bottom side is out, there is not that much damage. So I managed with the warden to finish off the base. But like I said, it wasn't a great attack at all. So if you do this attack, you could also start here on the bottom side, get a good fireball here on the center. Want the warden to keep going towards the center and take the center out, the heroes for the back end, and after that you could maybe play the royal champion for the core, or for the left side right here, maybe to support the warden or whatever. But I still managed to do it, but I hope I can like make it a little bit more clear for you what to do on a base with a hook tower, if it's like in the core and if it's a little bit more isolated. So yeah, if you have any further questions, please let me know. Also, if you want to see more tutorials about Fireball Rocketloons, also let me know. But with that, I would say we are coming to the end. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, I would really appreciate if you like and subscribe. And now, peace out.